What you are about to see is a full-on erotic drag queen show, complete with gyrations, tongue gymnastics, and a flashed G-string at a kids' public school talent show. Check this out. Families at a Manhattan public school talent show got an unexpected lesson in human sexuality when a grown man took the stage in a black sequin dress and flaming red wig and performed a raunchy drag number where he grinded the stage and, as you saw, spread his nasty legs. People were horrified. One parent said, by the name of Raquel Morales, said that she was at the event with her fifth grader who attends a public school in District 4. She said it looked like a nightclub performance. I've been asking for an apology from the district for the last week, and they've been ignoring it. It's gotten disgusting in the public school systems. Please understand that we're living in the last days. Satan is after the kids. This is child abuse, and I want to know where the authorities are at. I want to know how come the cops have not been called in for this ungodly display of pervertedness that was done at this public school in the midst of children. This is disgusting. The parents who allowed this should be held accountable. The school system, the principal, the teachers, that Frankie Nasty Quinones and all who thought this was cute should be held accountable, should be in jail for abusing these children.
A family can be made up in many different ways.
It's called SOGI, for Sexual Orientation and Gender Identification, a curriculum that teaches public school students across Canada to celebrate the homosexual lifestyle and that gender is fluid. In other words, your gender is not dependent on what parts you were born with, but rather what you feel like in the moment.
People that are boys, there's people that are girls. There are people whose gender might be a little bit of both or might even be neither.
Lessons include books about transgender children, such as 10,000 Dresses, and songs like The Rainbow Song.
Gender won't decide the choices we make. Some boys like dressing up, some girls like catching snakes.
The SOGI curriculum started in British Columbia in 2016 and is quickly spreading throughout Canada.
I just thought, who decided that this was okay to teach our children?
Author and inspirational speaker Laura Lynn Tyler Thompson is a leading voice against the SOGI curriculum.
And we are seeing the results of that now because some kids are reacting very emotionally and saying, and they're in fear. Will I suddenly struggle with feeling like a different gender inside of my body?
Carrie Simpson of Culture Guard, another leading opponent, calls the curriculum nothing short of child abuse.
All those beautiful qualities that make young girls, beautiful girls and women, are being basically vilified. The things that make our boys boys are being, taken from them. So things of equating young men to being strong protectors is something that's now evil.
But Morgan Auger, a transsexual and supporter, claims it's about acceptance, not indoctrination.
The idea is to teach kids that there are gay kids and there are trans kids and there are trans parents and gay parents in our society, and everybody's wanted and desired. After all, that's what our Human Rights Code says, and it's the role of schools to teach the following of our laws, right?
Simpson disagrees, saying she sees Soji's real goal as
altering our culture from a heteronormative society into one where anything goes, no boundaries, no values, no morals. It's a hedonistic cult, basically, what they're implying.
another blaring example, drag queen story time. It's happening in Canada and America, where some public schools and libraries invite drag queens, some dressed like horned demons, to read to young children.
And it's a social deconstructionist agenda. They're using children, little 5-year-olds, to accomplish this. And parents are waking up and saying no.
When asked about parents' rights, Auger says,
well, actually, in Canada, parents' rights are limited and children's rights are put ahead. So the child has the right to be protected from the parents when the parents behave badly.
Canada is known as one of the most gay-friendly countries in the world, with many of their largest cities featuring their own gay villages, like here in Vancouver, which has literally rolled out the Rainbow Road.
Most gays, like village resident Dave Davy DiCarlo, support Soji and limiting parental rights.
The change that we have to see is sometimes the parents, and the kids are doing actually really okay.
This is very scary stuff.
Longtime Vancouver area pastor Kevin Kavanaugh says this is far more serious than most Canadian Christians realize.
Our problem is not the teachers, the educators, the administrators. This is a battle in the heavenlies.
He says Satan is going after their most vulnerable, the children.
And the little girl came home in tears because the teacher had told her, since she was playing with some toys in the class that were deemed to be masculine in nature, that she was likely a boy in a girl's body. The mother went to the school the very next day, and instead of having any sort of tolerance or support or understanding, she was actually called names. She was told that she was a homophobe, that she was a bigot.
With that in mind, Tyler Thompson, Simpson, and Pastor Kevin are spreading their message across social media and in town hall meetings. The pro-gay backlash has been fierce.
And the hatred and the anger and the bullying that came against us, even though we said, we love you, we don't take from you the opportunity and the freedom to live as you choose. We love you, but we do not agree with you.
Pastor Kevin believes Canadian Christians are in a 2 Chronicles 20 moment.
See, y'all think this is a game. These 6 psychopaths are in our schools. They're propagating your children. You see, how do we go from training kids with firearms and rifles to this? Whose fault is it truly? Sometimes we gotta look in the mirror, and then only then can we realize who the problem really is. Stop blaming other people. It's our fault. Peace and love, everybody. It's time to make some grave changes in this psychopathic reality. At this point, there's no excuses. It all lays with you. Peace and love, everybody.
They're like such a trawlers too.
It won't! Oh, it won't empty! There'll not be any plates washed to eat of. The very night I've got to be early at the youth centre. I'm trying to learn my lessons. In the old days before the Glorious Revolution, London was not the beautiful city we know today. It was a dark, dirty, miserable place where scarcely anybody had enough to eat. Children had to work 12 hours a day for cruel masters who flogged them with whips. I know what's happened. Somebody's done something to this. They must have all sneaked in when we've all been away. Filthy traitors! You mean blocked it up on purpose? Yes! Who? I'll find out. And when I do... Where have you been? Leaving me here? Do you want me to go to the youth centre without any supper and tell them that you don't feed me, eh?
Oh, no, dear.
After all I've done this afternoon.
Oh, yes, dear. She's such a brave, clever girl. A real child hero, as they say. She actually managed to...
Don't tell him about it! Don't you dare!
No, dear. Mr. Smith's come to fix the sink for us.
Yes, I'll just take a look. Do you mind if I borrow that piece of wire? Very well.
Who said you could interfere?
I asked him to help, dear.
Oh, shut up!
Mrs. Parsons, I'm afraid I'm going to need a bucket.
Oh, yes, there's one in the bedroom to catch the water coming through.
Better leave it alone.
Why?
She thinks it's sabotage.
Oh, does she?
The rich men were called capitalists. They were fat, ugly men with wicked faces, like the one shown on the opposite page. Look at his funny shiny hat.
Yes.
That was their uniform. You're old. Did you ever see a capitalist?
I don't remember.
The capitalists owned everything in the world. If anyone disobeyed them, they could throw them into prison. What are you doing?
Oh, it's quite simple. You just slacken this nut and let the water run out, and 9 times out of 10 you can get at the obstruction.
You do know a lot, don't you? About our sink.
They're all the same in these old days.
You mean it was him that did it?
You are, Mr. Smith.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Don't do anything to help him!
What's the matter?
Traitor, criminal, saboteur, Goldsteiner. Face the telescreen, comrade. In a moment he's going to show us what he blocked the pipe up.
Oh, no, not Mr. Smith.
Show us what's in the pipe!
It's here. It's reddish, most of it, like yours, see? You'll need to be careful washing their heads over the sink.
Don't you laugh at me! They didn't laugh at me this afternoon, they didn't!
What happened this afternoon?
I won a medal!
Hello. Ah, Smith. What's this? Who won a medal?
I did!
What?
Oh, Tom, she was out with her troop of spies on a country hike.
Oh, let's sit down and hear all about
And
it.
she got 2 other girls to go with her, and they slipped off from the hike.
Why did they do that?
We were following this strange man I saw.
Huh?
I was sure he was some sort of enemy agent. Parachuted, perhaps. He was a foreigner.
How do you know?
Well, he was wearing a funny kind of shoes. I never saw anybody with shoes like that before.
Oh, pretty smart, huh? How's that for a sharp eye? Go on, you trailed him.
For 2 whole hours. And when we got to Barnet, we told the patrols.
And then?
They arrested him, of course. They took him away to the Ministry of Love.
The Ministry of Love.
Oh, it'll be in for there, all right.
Yes, on her word.
Oh, that's a clever girl. That deserves the medal if anything does. Oh, and you'll be on all the telescreens tomorrow. Oh, and they'll want you down to the youth centre, won't they?
Oh, yes, I've got to go. I've got to. And she hasn't given me my supper!
What's
Is this bother with the sink,
You
Mr.
can
Smith?
use it now, Mrs. Parsons.
You get us something to eat straight away. My. We've got something to be proud of now. Victory Mansion's own child hero. Oh, and I've got a lot of leaflets here about Hate Week. Hand out the community centre tonight. Oh, you should have been there, Winston, old man.
Let me see. I want to see.
Of course, but I must talk to Mr. Smith first.
Well, I'd better be going. Oh, good night.
I'll come with you, old man. I'm organising squads of men to hang out bunting. 400 meters.
Where's my supper?
A moment, dear.
And I want mine! Someday I'm going to be a child hero! You've got to make us strong! We're the glorious generation! We're going to track down all the thought criminals and traitors! We'll shoot them! We'll vaporize them! Whoever they are! Piece of shit! Piece of shit! Fuck you! Stop your gun! Stop your gun! Murderers! Blood on your hands! Are you proud of yourself? Piece of shit! Piece of shit! Let her die? You would let her die just like that, you piece of shit! Yeah, you should have that face! You should have that fucking face! Fuck you! I'm going to law school! Where the fuck you?
You terrorist! Get out of my town! Get out of my town! Terrorist! I can register you to vote right here! Don't get replaced, old man! Get out of my town! Get out of here, coon! Get out of here, coon! Whoever's terrorizing in our city! The system, right? Like the NRA, right? Can't even afford decent health care, but let's go fucking celebrate some fun! Look at her! 19 kids! 19 kids! 19 kids! About attention! About making this!
And are we not free, Mr. Jefferson?
Homes entered without warrant, citizens arrested without charge, and in many places free assembly itself denied.
No one approves of such things, but these are dangerous times.
Be careful, Mr. Dickinson. Those who give up some of their liberty in order to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.